Hi there, Lady V here from Safe House of the Desert. Today's art project is going to be abstract paper sculpting. Woo, looking fun. So you're going to see behind me this piece of art that was made. I made it last night, and the idea was to create something out of nothing, so we are able to work with materials that don't cost a lot, but also to create something that if we had mass of it, what would happen is we would have a masterful art piece that we could put into a gallery or an exhibit or on our wall in either the shelter or in our homes or what have you. So to get started, there's a whole section of materials that you're going to need, and let me bring them to your attention. You're going to need scissors. You're going to need something that you can roll paper on. I'm just using a pencil, and I'm using this whole highlighter. Or these are my two shapes. One is larger, one is thinner, okay? Then you're gonna need paper, 8.5 by 11 copy paper. And you're going to need also a canvas. So regardless of how big your canvas is, doesn't matter, but for all intents and purposes, this particular art piece is an 8 by 10, so that's what we're using. The first thing you're going to do, and also too, you need a glue gun with glue sticks and white glue with a brush. That's all the materials. Okay, so here we go. So once you take your 8.5 by 11 paper, you're going to fold it long ways, and you're going to do many, many sheets of this. So you may be taking like a whole pack that you've got a lot of sheets in it. And the whole idea here is that what we're going to do is we're going to cut off this edge to create some squares of paper to work with, right? And so here's the deal. You're going to keep these long offcuts. Everything we cut off, we're keeping because we're going to use it as part of the sculpture. Then what you're going to do is you're going to take this and put it in half, right? Pretty easy squeezy. Same thing, bringing in this edge and cutting that off and saving the offcut. So now we have pieces of paper that are all uniform so that it creates a tube. This is what we're going to be going for, is a tube that is all rolled with the same sizing. How I'm going to do that is I'm going to literally take this marker. You may have something else you want to work with that's going to give you the diameter you wish. But I'm going to take it and I'm going to roll it on the diagonal. So I'm going to roll from here, and I'm going to, it's easier on a tabletop, but I'm going to do this way for now. And then I'm going to take white glue, and I'm going to just go ahead and turn it to where you end up with this completely sealed, groovy thing. Woohoo! All right, so once you get that, then you're going to be doing smaller pieces, and you're going to use the pencil to do exactly the same jam. And you're going to bring that out, bring it up, have a good old time, and you're making these longer pieces that are thinner. Okay? Awesome. You're making many of these pieces, like bunches and bunches and bunches of them. And so what I'm going to suggest to you is that you kind of just get into a jam and you start making the rolls, and you get all the rolls done. So you're going to have the rolls, and you're going to have all these offcuts, and all that stuff is separated. Now, when you go to work on your canvas, what I did is I took a 8.5 piece of paper, and I fit it on this 8 by 10 canvas, and I marked this and cut this out. So you end up with the paper covering this canvas really beautifully, and it looks great. So you can just use white glue to put that on. It'll add a little texture to the paper, which is kind of cool. And then you cut out the excess, and that excess you can just, let go. Then the next step is, once you have your tubes made, you can use your hot glue gun, and you can start layering in all of your tubes. And the first thing I would say is, if you create fans, then what you have is you have this interior space where you can kind of start to add texture to it. So you're going to build this whole thing with these tubes And there's layers and layers and layers of these tubes to create interesting shapes. And it's really fun because you put on some music and you kind of get into a trance doing it. So much like pickup sticks, right? Pickup sticks, they were just dropped on. You start to see layers. So what I want to show you here is that the cool thing that makes this art so cool is look how incredibly three-dimensional it is. And the same thing goes when you look at it up close. And it makes you wonder, how did they get those things in the spaces the way they did? You can see I've got smaller, I've got the flats, and I've got the big, you know, the fatter tubes. And then I've also got just rolls of flat paper. But everything is three-dimensional. Looks like an asteroid almost, right? So this type of art you would find easily in museums, texture art museums. What's so cool about this art is it's really relaxing, and it gets kind of like this mesmerizing kind of vibe when you're working with it. So that's why I chose this particular art project for not only for Safe House, but also for my clients to do at home, to create something that's soothing, especially as we are sheltered in and we're all trying to figure out what is the new normal, right? So I'm Lady V, the art director for Safe House of the Desert. I'm going to welcome you into an abstract art experience, something easy and quick and very satisfying. And I'll look forward to what you guys do and what pictures get sent. And if you have questions, you can always reach out to me on volana.com and or just text me direct if you are part of the Safe House team. Much love. Looking forward to seeing what you guys come up with. Our intention is to have a gallery show with massive amounts of three-dimensional art that's done through paper. So looking forward to what we create. As always, it's one roll at a time. Great. All right, guys. See you later.